My name's Mary, and I'm coming to you from the children's room at the Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine. And today, we're going to do Gravity is a Mystery. We're going to talk a little bit about gravity. Some of you may have heard of Isaac Newton and may have heard the story that he was sitting under a tree when an apple fell next to him. And it was that moment that made him realize gravity. Well, suppose you could dig a hole to the center of the earth. Suppose you dug right past the center. If you dug long enough and deep enough, you would come out in the Indian Ocean. If you jumped into the hole, you would fall down, down, and down you would go. You would fall faster and faster toward the center of the earth. And when you reached the center, you'd be going so fast you could not stop. You would go right past the center. And then on the other side, you would move up and away from the center of the earth. You would fall up for a while. You'd go slower and slower. Then you would stop. You would almost get to the Indian Ocean, but not quite. Sort of like this picture. You jump in here and you fall down to the center, but now you start falling up. Well, now you would fall back toward the center of the earth. You go faster and faster right past the center, but you would not quite reach your starting point. So, you jumped in the hole here. You went almost to the Indian Ocean. And now it's pulling you right back down through, but not quite back to your hole. Back and forth you would go. Each time you'd go a shorter distance past the center. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. Gravity would make you fall toward the center of the earth, and when you moved past the center, gravity would pull you back again. After a long, long time, you would stop moving. You would stay at the center of the earth. Gravity pulls everything toward the center of the earth. When you run downhill, gravity pulls you. When you throw a ball up, gravity pulls it down. When you sit, gravity holds you down. When you lie down, gravity holds you to the bed. But what is gravity? We know gravity is everywhere, even though we can't see it. We know it pulls on every rock, every grain of sand. It pulls on everything, but no one knows exactly what gravity is. That's why we say gravity is a mystery. The gravity of the earth pulls everything toward the center of the earth. You know this when you try to lift a heavy stone. Gravity pulls it down. The more the stone weighs, the more gravity pulls on it. To lift the stone, you must pull up harder than gravity pulls down. Lift your little brother. Then try to lift your father. The more they weigh, the harder it is to lift them. You already know how much gravity pulls on you. Do you weigh 60 pounds? That means the pull of the Earth's gravity on you is 60 pounds. How much you weigh tells how much gravity pulls on you. How much a stone weighs tells how much gravity pulls on the stone. The Earth has gravity, and so does the moon. The Earth's gravity pulls you toward the center of the Earth, and if you were on the moon's gravity would pull you toward the center of the moon. The moon has less gravity than the Earth has. This means the moon's gravity does not pull as hard as the Earth's gravity. Do you weigh 60 pounds? If you were on the moon, you would weigh only 10 pounds. The pull of the moon's gravity on you would be only 10 pounds. The Earth and the moon have gravity, and so does each of the planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune have more gravity than the Earth has. On any of these planets, you would weigh more than you weigh on the Earth. On Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, you would weigh only a little more. On Jupiter, you would weigh a lot more. Do you weigh 60 pounds? On Jupiter, you would weigh about 160 pounds. Gravity on Mercury, Venus, and Mars is less than it is on Earth. On these planets, you would weigh less than you weigh on the Earth. On Venus, you would weigh only a little less. But on Mercury and Mars, you would weigh a lot less. Do you weigh 60 pounds? On Mercury and Mars, you would weigh only about 20 pounds. Suppose you weigh 60 pounds. This is how much you would weigh in the moon, on each of the planets, and on the sun. On the moon, you'd weigh 10 pounds. On Mercury, 21 pounds. On Mars, 23 pounds. On Venus, 52 pounds. On Earth, 60 pounds. On Uranus, 64 pounds. Saturn, 68 pounds. Neptune, 85 pounds. Jupiter, 158 pounds. And on the sun, 16,740 pounds. If you were on Mars, gravity would pull you toward the center of Mars. You could stand up and sit down just as you can on the Earth. It would be easier to move around, though, because you would weigh less. You could run in big giant steps because gravity on Mars is much less than it is on the Earth. You would weigh a lot more on Jupiter than you do on the Earth. It would be harder to move around on that planet. Your legs would get tired from carrying you. Try running with a 100-pound pack on your back. That's what it would be like all the time on Jupiter. Gravity is everywhere. On the Earth, on the Moon, on Jupiter, Mars, and all the other planets. The Sun has gravity too, and so does every other star. The gravity of the Earth holds things on the Earth. It holds down rugs and tables and you and me. Gravity makes a ball come down. It makes us work hard to lift a heavy stone. We know where gravity is. It's everywhere. And we know what gravity does. But no one knows exactly what gravity is. Gravity is a mystery. And because of gravity, I can hold the book right here and it stays still. But if I let it go, the book will fall. Because of gravity, the book is being pulled to the center of the Earth. So that's just a little bit of information about gravity. This is a book called Gravity is a Mystery by Franklin Branley. If you want to know about gravity or about any of the planets or the sun, or the stars, or the moon, or maybe you were more interested in seeing that ball being thrown around. Well, we have books on all of these things at the library. So, come on in, and we'll be happy to show you where you can find some of these books. So my name's Mary, and I'm coming to you from the children's room at the Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine. And I hope you know a little bit more about